pepper.
Maybe some new co-host.
Check yourself.
What?
That was rude.
Chris said a new co-host.
Are we recording?
We are recording.
Ooh.
We're going to put that on there. Giant ass.
Give us some music here.
Casserole.
Blurp out Colton picking his teeth.
Cracked pepper in there.
Cracked pepper and casserole.
Freshly cracked pepper.
This is why we don't eat on the show.
I know. I have to listen to it.
But there's whole podcasts that's what they do.
Yeah.
It's not us. You
It's
should
like
is
Miller
now.
Lite. Luke Combs approved.
Dude, he's got a new album out.
I know. That's why the beer's here.
Welcome back to the Okayest Cook Podcast. I am your host, Chris Whonsetler. I'm joined by these clowns who I'm going to introduce, ranked by who I think is most likely to eat food that they've dropped on the floor.
Oh, no question.
Bro, I worked at summer camps.
Okay, so we've got Corey Cole.
I do it all the time. Except in my house, we have a dog that sheds.
and Andy
Yeah,
Heiser.
well, that's for the dogs, bro.
Yeah.
There's a 30-second rule in my house.
That's a donut. You have dogs.
All of you have dogs, except for me. I have kids. That
Listen, I just
counts.
wash it off.
My twins. Yeah.
Oh man.
It depends. Grapes, fruits, so I can just wash it off.
Yeah, can't get the dog's grapes, but
Pasta, wash it off.
oh my
Lasagna, give it to the dog.
Anything. Let the
If
dog
I
wash it
drop
off.
something, I don't think I'd be able to pick it up before my dog got it.
Yeah, Oliver is like my little sous chef. He just sits there and he's right
waiting
there
for the
it. He's
waiting
ready.
for the scraps. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, we used to have a dog, and she was like that, but she had some like food issues, and so anytime we were eating, she was
Yeah,
Well,
right there.
Moose's face is at.
yeah, he's awesome.
He's
he doesn't
at
have
the
to try, and
stove.
he's right
Yeah,
there.
if you haven't gone back and heard some of the episodes, we have some episodes, I think. Maybe
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
up
Corey's
to-
house.
of Corey's
Yeah.
house. That
What
are,
is that episode?
there's dogs in the background.
15, 14, 13. We're at
Yeah.
Corey's house.
Yeah. Yep.
Moose,
Good
Moose
times.
makes an appearance in at least
Moose.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the other
The
one.
little one.
Oakley.
Oakley, that's right.
Oakley.
She was so sweet.
Yeah.
Just a loud one. Yeah.
No.
Anyways. Yeah, today we're talking casseroles. So a very loose description I found online. But before
Yeah.
we get there, what'd you guys eat this week?
Not it.
I'll go first. I had Andy's Moink
Yeah.
today, this
Sweet.
morning. I made some Moink. And also like an egg bake.
Yeah.
So like getting into
yeah.
casserole mode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Making some egg bake. And I'll give that recipe at the end of this episode, actually. So we won't talk about it. But I used duck eggs in this particular egg bake, and it was
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
When you say egg bake, do you mean a quiche or a casserole?
Define the difference.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later on here, I guess.
Okay.
in my
I guess
mind,
I
it's
don't-
a casserole,
Okay.
but
I've just never heard the
we'll
term
see.
egg bake.
I might be wrong.
Right.
But yeah, so Moink. Is there anything in that but venison and beef?
No, it's no venison.
Because like it's not
Pork.
venison?
No, that's boar, buddy. It's boar.
That's boar. Oh, that's why it tasted different.
Oh,
Okay.
and that's why it's called Moink.
Moink. Like
I
moo
guess.
and
Moo and oink.
oink,
Okay.
Moink.
I just assumed it was venison. I ate it thinking it was venison. I'm like, holy crap, this is like
it all the way.
there's so much flavor here.
Yeah, that's Texas, buddy.
Okay, yeah, that was not.
So
it was not medium
Yeah,
rare.
as for those of you that don't know what Moink
Nice,
is,
yeah.
it is half brisket, half boar, ground together, and
Dude, it was
heavily
divine.
seasoned with breakfast sausage seasoning.
Okay, so there was some seasoning. Okay,
Oh, yeah,
sorry,
for
I
sure.
wasn't.
Oh yeah, no, it's full.
I wasn't
It's
dreaming.
sausage.
Okay, okay.
It's sausage. It's just like the way that you've given it to you guys is in bulk, so it's
Yeah.
just flat, so you can make patties out of it and stuff.
Yeah.
Or
Nice.
or just brown it and then mix it into stuff.
Yeah, dude, it
But
was
it is
so good.
it's a crowd favorite. In fact, actually, I have a client that I've now promised like 6 of them that I'm bringing Moink. So I'm gonna go see a client.
I
here
need to
recently.
commission another one.
Yeah, well, I gotta
It's so good.
I'm running out. I gotta go down and get some more board.
Let's all go to Texas.
Yeah.
Make,
do it.
Make
That'd
this
be
Moink.
honestly, that would be a good trip.
Be a
Yeah.
good episode. Yeah, on location episode.
On location.
Let's talk about it.
on the ranch. Yeah.
Colton, you're up.
Oh.
What'd you eat?
Nothing crazy. My wife baked a strawberry loaf of sourdough though, which was turned out
I feel
really
like
good.
this was in the pictures in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I
Yes.
did
Yeah.
send it over at one point.
Fresh,
good.
fresh strawberries or like dehydrated?
No, freeze dried powdered.
Okay.
So she kind of folded
gotcha.
that in. But
I was going to ask if she listened to Corey and rolled them in flour.
no,
Not the case here.
I would need
next
to.
time.
Was it pink or
Yeah, it had like pink
That's
swirls
cool.
in it.
That's
So
cool. Jeez.
it just
So
looked
cool.
cool, you
Yeah.
know.
Nice.
That's awesome.
But it was
Again,
good.
I'm disappointed. There's no proof on the table here.
Yeah, it's at home right now.
wow?
I haven't
you could've
actually-
brought
Didn't
it.
want to
and,
share.
and
I
then he's
could've
just
brought it
rubbing it
in.
in. I was thinking like,
home.
oh, we ate it all.
I'm gonna have it tomorrow.
I guess
but-
I did start the episode by saying we don't eat on the episode.
Yeah.
So that's my
we
fault.
ate bread.
We ate bread. The
I would've
whole
brought it,
episode.
but-
broke bread.
Chris told me I couldn't bring it. So.
Oh, okay. I'll take it. Who's next?
I had air fryer cinnamon rolls. They're good. I like them. I just winged it. Listen, you guys know, like I have
Butter
I have cookbooks in my house, but they're just like
decorations.
yes,
They're catching
Kind
dust.
of like these.
makes
Those
it
guys.
makes it look
Those
like
are
I know
real,
what I'm
though. All
doing.
those are real.
I just threw them in there, threw some butter on top of them, some
bet
brown
you did.
sugar.
Dude, I
and-
need to like investigate the air fryer situation. You talk about that a lot.
You
but
don't
I've
have
never.
one?
I don't have one.
What?
I-
Never used one
hell?
I don't have
I
one.
use it
What?
daily.
daily.
Only
Daily.
50% of this table has an air fryer.
I use it daily.
Absolutely. If you're reheating things in the microwave, folks, you're wrong.
Yeah.
I do hate the microwave.
Stop using the
Stop
microwave.
I just use the
Get rid
oven.
of it.
I just
Listen,
wait.
like,
I
even
just
if,
wait
like-
an hour and use the oven.
Listen, even
We
if
got a
you go
toaster oven.
even if you go out to like a restaurant, like you take your French fries or whatever,
Bro, take them home. Air fryer.
throw them in the air fryer.
Really?
Mhm.
Do not put them in the microwave ever again.
If you're eating soggy French fries because you brought them home or they were carry out, you're
If
doing
you-
it wrong. Get
I
in
never have leftover French fries.
Answer a question for me here because I'm
Kids.
legitimately
I can't
curious.
wait.
What is the difference between an air fryer and
Speed.
a convection oven?
Speed.
Awesomeness,
Awesomeness.
speed.
What is actually
It's
different though?
hip.
I don't- look,
it's trendy.
it's speed.
It's
speed.
circulating
It's
hot
speed.
air, right?
But it's speed.
But it like
But compared to Colton's toaster oven,
greatness. I don't know.
Yeah, I have a toaster oven with convection on it.
Yeah, like that's like a. If we're like looking at race cars right now, you're driving like a VW bus while Corey and I are just whipping around you in some Corvettes.
Here's the thing though,
We're in a
my
SS
VW
Camaro.
bus still works.
So
It's
does-
still running.
brother. I'm just I know what I'm getting you fools for Christmas.
Yeah.
okay.
Corey and I are
You-
splitting some air fryers.
Here.
We, okay, so we're off topic already. We're going
Air
to do
fryer.
another gear
With
episode.
air fryer.
Yes.
PB&J Uncrustables in the air fryer.
You keep. This is not the first time you've mentioned this as well.
so good.
Yes.
Well, I have gotten super into poke bowls.
Mm.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm not gonna lie, did some traveling this week, so didn't get my meal prep in. So I have had to resort to trying to find other things to eat. And man, a poke bowl is so good, so good. I feel so good after I eat it. Tastes
Yep.
so good.
Mhm.
Oh, just
They're
love
great.
it.
Another dish from the guy who doesn't like things touching.
I know.
Like
I just it's. Look, I think it's like
you've got a lot of exceptions. I've
Yeah.
noticed.
yeah,
What did you eat? What did you eat with it?
the poke bowl. Like, what was in it?
Yeah. What was in there?
So, full. So tuna, salmon, full size. Thank you. I'm an adult. Edamame, seaweed salad, on rice.
Seaweed's good.
And then one of the times I had some of the yum yum sauce in there along with some of the sweet soy sauce. And that
Yum
is
Yum's where it's
decadent.
at.
A lot of that's, but again, sauces, screw up your fats.
That's a lot of.
But that's usually my go-to. Sometimes I'll throw some avocado and cucumber in there too, and then every now and then I'll throw some hot in there too. So like they've got some really really good diced jalapenos.
Did you make this yourself?
No, I
Okay.
buy this from my friends at the Poke Brothers.
Okay.
So
Poke Brothers. I love it.
I like them with some Brussels sprouts
yeah,
or some sweet potatoes.
yeah.
Dude, that is one of the best
Mango,
fast food,
too.
like healthiest fast food things you
That's
can get.
again. I kind of talked about this a little bit on the meal prep episode too about like if you have to go get fast food, like look. No, I ate all of that right away. So I'll be honest with you. I did not save half for the next day.
You could have made a worse decision.
I
is
could
what I'm
have
hearing, yes.
made a worse decision, but I made.
You could have gone to Bub's and gotten a hamburger.
That's true. I could have had it.
Could have done the big ugly.
the big ugly all to myself.
Nice.
So yeah, that's what I ate.
Oof. So, segue here. Is a poke bowl a raw casserole?
No.
What did you get a
No.
definition of casserole?
I did, and
Casseroles have to be baked.
I think that is part of the definition.
Oh, okay.
It says a casserole is a one-dish meal that's baked and served from a sturdy baking dish that's itself known as a casserole.
There you go.
Ah, so the dish itself
So
has to
I
be a
think-
casserole dish.
So
A casserole dish,
So
yes.
baked oatmeal is considered a casserole.
If you do it in a casserole dish,
No.
yes.
No. I have a strong opinion. Baked oatmeal is not a casserole.
I just touched the
It's a
nerve.
one-dish meal
A
that's
one-dish
baked.
meal baked in a casserole dish.
served.
It's a one dish meal, but it's one ingredient.
It depends on
It's
what you put in.
multiple
But
ingredients.
You don't throw a bunch of broccoli in a casserole dish. and
No,
call
but
it
you could put chia
casserole.
seeds. It's like
Well,
overnight
green
oats.
bean casserole.
Baked.
Bananas.
Bananas.
What do you banana?
Just because I've
In your
never
oatmeal.
done one does not mean that it couldn't be possible.
You could do an oatmeal casserole, I think.
Yeah, I think it could be.
I don't know. I strongly disagree, but that's fine. Agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree. Well, if like corn pudding is technically one, how is that?
Well, I
different?
put that on the list. I don't know that it is. It's just we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
I wouldn't consider that one either. So there you go.
Green bean casserole.
Yeah, it's got multiple ingredients.
Says the word casserole on it.
That's corn pudding. Cornbread. What else is in there? Sour cream. Eggs.
In a
I'm
casserole
missing.
dish.
I'm missing one. There's one more.
I don't know
ingredient.
why I think the way I do. I just know I don't think corn.
just doesn't
corn
like it.
pudding is a casserole.
Yes. A shepherd's pie.
Nice.
We think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Lasagna.
So that you consider that a casserole?
Shepherd
I
pie.
think I
shepherd's pie.
would. Yeah.
Listen, I don't go if it's got shepherd's pie on the menu.
Mm-mm.
You can guarantee that's what I'm ordering.
Gross.
Dude, it's so good.
I love trying everyone's
That's-
shepherd pie.
And I would just said I had a poke bowl and that was my favorite, but that's too many things touching. Don't like it, and it's
Yeah.
baked in a thing. It's weird. Oh, no,
Yeah.
Yeah.
hard pass.
I'm not the biggest shepherd's pie fan.
It just
Dude,
sounds
I've had
like
some good
things
ones.
that someone had to make because that's what they had to make in the
Yeah.
time period that they lived in.
Yeah.
But
It's
it
all your
is
leftovers
But it is
with
not.
mashed potatoes on top.
Because it
Yeah.
comes from the potato wars in Ireland.
Right. But we're not.
I'm into
Those
it.
wars are over, bro.
Dude,
According
it's
to the Irish, they're
hearty.
not.
Stick to your ribs. Goodness.
Fair.
Come on.
The IRA is going to be on us.
Yikes. Yikes. Well, I don't know where are we going
Back
with this
to
episode?
casseroles.
Yes, casseroles.
Casseroles.
We're deciding what is a casserole and what is not a casserole.
Is there casseroles we can agree on are casseroles? Ones that are good ones.
Ones that have casserole in the name.
So like my mom's mac and cheese that I've talked about before. My mom's, not grandma's, but my mom's is made in a casserole dish. It is, noodles, cheese throughout, layered on top, baked.
Yeah.
So that's a casserole.
Yeah.
Does she do,
How
does
many
she do the, like,
ingredients is
the
that?
cornflake on top
So
or like a
it's cheese. It's cheese on top that's then like crusted at that
Okay.
point. So like
Yeah.
she doesn't put the crumbles or anything on
Yeah,
that top
okay.
of it. It doesn't.
But it's a
really-
crispy
doesn't need that.
cheese.
But it's a crispy cheese top layer.
we do like a
all.
potato casserole
Yeah.
with the cornflakes on top
Hmm.
for the crispiness.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, back to the previous episode. I mean, casseroles are awesome meal prepping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Anything that's a full meal in
Mhm.
one. Did I say that right? Very easy to prep and eat. That's kind of like you mentioned shepherd's pie, but like pot pies too.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that
For sure, yeah.
kind of covers all your food groups in one.
I
don't
love
know
some
why.
Popeyes.
You're making me question the way that I am. Because I'm like, I could get down on a pot pie. That's all the
I think
things
it's just
touching.
an excuse to not eat certain things.
Yeah, maybe. I don't like it. Hmm.
Yes. Well, yeah, like I said, I don't know where we're going to go with this episode. We could just keep bantering of all the things.
That are casseroles.
Main dishes versus side dishes versus, breakfast casseroles, dessert casseroles. I don't know.
Well,
what
that's
do you
the
guys
thing.
like
Is
to
that
make here?
like cobblers? I feel like that's made in is that technically considered a?
Yeah, I mean,
Is that a casserole?
if
do-
it meets the definition.
Yeah, it's a casserole is a one dish.
I mean, I think
you can
the
take them in a
flaw-
lot of different directions.
Mhm. So here's the question: though.
dish
It says
meal.
one dish meal, and then yet we talk about like, having it as a side. So that by definition, it's no longer a.
Yeah,
If it's a side dish, it's not considered a real casserole.
but a green
This-
bean casserole.
Is a side.
I mean, it's
dish.
definitely
Which
a casserole.
is my favorite casserole. So.
Yeah, I think
This is more going. Nowhere.
this is one of those meals, food items that just there's a definition, but it doesn't
Yeah.
Apply
work
to it, yeah.
necessarily.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't necessarily work.
But it's
like
delicious.
it's like is a taco a sandwich? Like kind of, but
Why don't
Taco's
does
a
anybody
taco.
here have a casserole that's like we've had a previous episode on staple, meal prep, whatever. Does anybody here have a casserole that they bake often or is their favorite? It's a staple in their house. And,
Yep.
And what is that and how is it different, if it is different than just like your average casserole the same?
We have two. We have a hash brown casserole.
Okay. So what's in that?
Hash browns, cheese. I believe she puts
Butter.
Yeah, there's definitely butter. I believe she puts some type of dairy, like either a
Milk
whipping
or-
cream or something like that in there.
Heavy cream.
Yeah, it's amazing. That one, and then a pastaless lasagna,
Oh, what?
and that is just as like people ask her to make that all the time because it's made with spinach instead of pasta.
Like spinach replaces the pasta layers.
It's pretty
Getting
phenomenal.
close to like a vegan lasagna here.
Well,
But there's
but
meat in it.
there's
You
meat
still
in
got
it.
meat in it? Okay.
But I can't have it anymore, obviously, because of the
dairy.
dairy thing. But it is so good.
Yeah.
It's almost worth it.
Like legitimately all the same layers, like ricotta.
Everything's the same.
Everything's the same. Just
except no pasta noodles.
Interesting.
It's spinach instead.
I have to try that. I could get into that.
I'll get you the recipe.
Yeah.
Mine's kind of a take off the mom's macaroni and cheese, but one of the things my mom made growing up that's like my favorite. It was probably one of my most requested meals, especially if it was like hey, it's my pick on food because of a special occasion or whatever. My mom made this thing called beefy mac, and I don't know if she made that word up or not, but it's basically it's spaghetti meat sauce. So she'll make her own. My mom has makes a really, really good Italian meat sauce. But it's macaroni noodles, the meat sauce, and you put it in a casserole dish like you would macaroni and cheese. And then she sprinkles the mozzarella over it and melts that on top of it right there. And then that is the casserole. And so she called it beefy mac. So it's literally like, it tastes kind of like, I don't know. It's awesome. It's like the best part of spaghetti, but it has all this cheese on top of it too. So that's kind of like my, like if I had if I had one request for my last casserole in life, it'd probably be that.
It's almost like a chili mac.
It's
in a
almost like
casserole.
yeah. But think of like Italian flavoring instead of the chili
Yeah,
sauce.
instead of chili.
So
Yeah.
that sounds very similar. Not the exact same, but my dad has something. He used to always make the cross country team right before county every year called pizza-getti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kinda like that.
And it was
Spaghetti.
Did you have
Yeah.
this
No.
as an
didn't-
athlete under?
So I wrestled with Colton's dad was my wrestling coach, not mine. He's just an endurance guy, man. He just would like to watch us work hard. So
yeah.
tracks that he would. What's good carb load for the
Yeah.
race.
We always we did spaghetti nights, so nothing fancy like
Yeah.
that. But,
Yeah.
How about you? What's your casserole?
dude, we do the egg bake I mentioned earlier, like 100%. We do that a lot,
What's in it?
easily once a month. We'll tell you that at the end.
Oh, okay,
That's our
Oh,
recipe.
that's
Is
a
it
recipe.
like everything mixed in a casserole dish though?
Yeah.
Like it's not like a quiche.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I don't think it's a quiche. Quiche is more of
Colton's
like
real worried about this being a quiche.
No, I'm just
I don't
kidding
think
because
it's a
we make
quiche.
quiche all the time.
What's the difference between a quiche and a casserole?
I think quiche has more egg.
Yeah.
Isn't it like a
Than
pan
mine.
instead of a
Yeah, like a pie
casserole?
dish or
So,
something.
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
this says a casserole dish by definition.
I think
No,
they're-
that's how I was
the
just
line
curious,
is
though.
danger thin.
Well, and there's like a frittata too, which is
Right. I'm trying to
Yeah.
know the difference.
Yeah.
Well, you're
They're
'cause
delicious.
you're-
I'll eat all of them.
Yeah.
your quiche is gonna have like a thicker pastry crust layer.
I think that's the
Yeah.
difference between frittata.
Mine
and
does
It's
not.
generally
Tasty.
smoother too. Like generally
Yeah.
something's blended in with it.
Yeah.
That's not mine. That's not mine.
Okay.
Mine's casserole.
Okay.
So that, and then for the heirloom recipe a while back, I talked about the calico beans.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I would
yeah,
consider
yeah.
that 100% casserole.
Okay.
Just lots of beans, lots of ketchup and barbecue sauce, and
Yeah.
meat and
You have to make that for us sometime.
Yeah, because I don't know if I know what I'm picturing in my head is accurate to what it actually is. So I would be really pumped if
accurate.
the next time
What?
just meat and beans and
I think of
Big
black eyed
beans.
peas.
Okay.
yeah, black kidney beans, kind of a mix
Okay.
Okay.
mixed bean thing. No limas. Yeah, maybe we could do lima. Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a casserole, but more of the side dish
Okay.
style casserole.
So you would eat that with something
You could, yeah. I would eat it just like in a bowl by itself, like as a meal for
with
sure.
with cornbread.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but usually we've got like hamburgers and hot dogs
Oh, okay.
as a side.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Maybe some corn on the cob or something. But
So Chris, I really want you to go into this. I'm reading our notes now, the history side of this, because I
Oh,
think the
whoa,
history.
whoa, hold on. I got one.
Okay. Did you already know? Okay, go.
Green bean casserole, but I do everything from scratch. It's like I make my own.
Pig.
He makes his own beans.
Yeah, I grow my own beans. I make my own pig for the bacon. No, I'm just
You make my own pig.
No, but like I do the cream of mushroom soup from
Okay.
scratch and
Oh, yeah.
fresh
I
beans.
love
and-
that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But then Sierra does. This is the one I wanted to mention. She does this breakfast casserole that's like croissants and cream cheese
What?
and blueberries, and it's
That sounds
there's a lot
awesome.
more to it than that, but it's all mixed together and
We need
baked.
to do.
We need that recipe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
We
phenomenal.
need to do a wild game night, except it's
Breakfast?
The girls cook.
Yes.
We just show up as opposed to the other way.
So it's
Listen, that would be
awesome.
it's real reminiscent
bread.
of a like a classic French toast casserole.
sounds amazing,
But she does
seriously.
croissants instead of the French toast.
Oh man, that sounds.
Yeah.
So I would like to. Yeah, I'd be interesting because we have a chicken and waffles casserole.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Jeez,
That
chicken
would be
waffles.
good with croissants.
Yeah, they're one of those. I feel like I break this rule a lot because I love chicken and waffles.
Have you had it in a casserole?
Oh no, I won't. I'm chicken and waffles. I love the hot and sweet mixed together. It's so good. So, I mean, just nothing's better than the pile of waffles all crisscross with the chicken just on top and that hot
Now you
syrup.
put that in a casserole and you pour eggs all over it.
I'm just
Like
worried
how
about it.
diced
With
up are
maple
we
syrup.
talking here?
Well, and is
So-
the chicken gonna be like not breaded and crunchy?
It is.
That's my fear.
Chicken could be like your crispy top layer. That'd be good.
Well, it's typical.
I'm skeptical.
So it's not. It's not I would say the chicken is really more on top than anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
But everything is made basically separate except for the eggs. Like you're gonna make your waffles, you're gonna make your breaded chicken, and then you put those in, pour your eggs in, and then your maple syrup, and throw it in the oven.
Mm-hmm.
It is so good.
Yeah.
I would eat it.
That
Yeah.
sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, as far as history is concerned, I just copied and pasted that.
Well, it's almost got your favorite word in it.
Where's that?
Communal.
Communal.
It's kind of close to the
Same
it's
family.
Around it, yeah.
So, for those of us that aren't looking at the paper, it says, "Go ahead. This is your world."
The word casserole is derived from a French word that means saucepan. Apparently, casseroles originated as communal pots that people shared for meals. The oldest recipe, I thought this was fascinating. The oldest recipe for a casserole around 1250 consisted of pasta sheets cooked in water, layered with grated cheese and spices.
Like lasagna.
So lasagna.
Lasagna without all the fun stuff.
Right.
Just spices and cheese.
Well, you got to think back then. Like, I mean, that's probably what it would have been really readily available
Oh, yeah.
Cheese,
to them.
flour, and water for pasta.
Yep.
And probably tomatoes weren't available depending on where this was located.
And honestly, I mean, depending on where they were, where it's located, and how far back, in 1250, there was a time where they started regulating. You couldn't go out and hunt.
Mm-hmm.
That was the king's
deer.
King's deer. So they wouldn't. If they were poor, they wouldn't have access
Bitch
to
is
meats.
mine now, America.
We still have the DNR.
Them aside. We were regulated, but I can do what I want.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
That's
For
true.
2 weeks out of the year.
No, I just thought of like the for 2 weeks a year. Right. Yeah, I said it was regulated. Okay?
For 14 days.
No, the thing I was just interested about the history is the communal side as it relates to the idea of
Yeah.
everyone kind of getting around and
Yeah.
eating together. The casserole is such a great group meal dish that it's just it's very in line with our pillars, and it's something that I feel like is a classic in almost everyone's family. I mean, everyone probably has a casserole of some sort
Yeah.
For
in
sure,
their
yeah.
family heritage. So
Well, you got to think.
And-
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was say that's probably why we see it a lot at a lot of the family gathering type
Yeah.
meals, like
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, Christmas. Those are the main
4th
two.
of
I guess.
July.
Yeah. 4th of July.
Fourth,
yeah.
yeah.
It's
America.
easy. They're
La-
versatile.
Labor Day, Memorial Day. Yeah. What would you say? Casserole is what 2.5, 3 inches thick
They're about.
yeah.
ish. So
3
you
is
gotta-
a bit aggressive, I think.
You got to think about that's a lot of food in one little square. So I mean,
Yeah.
you make one casserole, you're probably going to feed 10, 12 people.
Mm-hmm.
depending on, if you're a one slice family type. Family.
Dude, our egg bake
They
lasts for
generally-
like a week.
They
Yeah.
generally freeze well too.
They do.
Yeah, they do
Yeah.
freeze well.
Good,
Mhm.
good meal prep food.
Yeah.
So meal preps, are you guys like cooking? Have we done many casseroles for meal preps? And then are you like, because you mentioned in the last episode about your individual little containers.
Mm-hmm.
Are you like cooking casserole, letting it cool, and then portioning it up?
Yeah.
into
That's how
your
I would do
thing?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That or like again
Or-
going back to the idea of I think the key takeaway from that episode is the try to like eat half, freeze half, so you can
Yeah.
have that set aside. So however you do that part of it, but what's cool about a casserole, even if you have half of it frozen, you can take that out and cut that into those pieces that you
Oh, yeah.
need to
Yep.
be easy to weigh, easy to understand. What's in it. But
Or even just making like when next time you make a casserole, just double
two
it.
dishes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make two of them.
Just
It's a great
two at a
it's
time.
That's
yeah.
actually a really good idea on like if you're
Freeze
struggling
it,
to
you
meet
got a
that
crazy
meal
week.
prep. Like make two of them. If you're going to do it anyway. Who cares
Yeah.
if it's it's just twice the
dude.
ingredients. And then have one to freeze and have one to have.
Yeah.
Here's a fun challenge. Do that, and then take it to a friend.
Ooh,
Yeah.
we could do a casserole swap.
Well, you have like we've got this really cool little company in Indiana called Send a Friend a Lasagna. It's probably that's not the name. I think it's something else. But
So I've never heard of this.
they're
way
also
more creative.
It is, but they're also they're an Indian original company. That's the only reason why I know that. But I mean, that's such a cool thing to do. Like you have all these what are they meal trains, stuff like
Yeah.
that. Next time you do that, make two, and then
You know what we
Send
should
one to
do?
a friend.
Actually, for the four of us, we should all just make a casserole, but make four of them, and
Yeah, that's a great idea.
then you make
Ooh.
one, I make one. Then we'd all have four casserole and
Like
like
a month's worth of food.
months
right there.
worth of food that
Yeah.
we could make out of one thing.
So do you guys remember?
and we can
when-
all judge each other without being in front of each other.
For a month.
for a whole month.
There's gonna be a lot of judgment.
Do you guys remember Pampered Chef?
Oh yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
thing. So I remember growing up, my mom and all the other moms in our cul-de-sac would get together,
Mhm.
and
Drink wine.
they would do that, but with soup or something. They'd each make something different, but
That's
make
awesome.
4 times the amount, and then
Mhm.
just all swap. And then you've got a freezer full of food.
Right.
That's all different.
I didn't grow. I
We
didn't.
need to do our own pampered chef.
I was not expecting the word cul-de-sac. I was headed. I thought you were going to say you were in a cult. That's a
Pampered-
great.
Pampered Chef
That's a
cult.
great thing, and I think, again, going back to the community aspect of why we do what we do, is man, you just don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
You really don't. And I think if we got back to more of that, what's Luke Combs? I think maybe it's Luke Combs. One of these country singers. Their new songs is if we had a lot more screen doors.
Beer Never Broke My Heart by Luke Combs. I don't think that's the song.
But if we had a lot more screen doors and we're outside
Mhm.
with our neighbors, that would we'd be in a lot better
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
Me and my neighbor have this thing where anytime we smoke something or cook something on the grill, we just always take some over to the other person.
This is
That's
the thing. Like I've talked about my brother-in-law Frank a lot on here, but so Frank lives right across the street from his best friend, from one of his best friends from college, and him and Dan, and they both are real into cooking. And Dan has all the different smokers, all the different things, and they're like little boys, and they'll run around across
Yes.
the street back and forth. You got to try this, and I'm so jealous that
That'd
I'm
be awesome.
not in proximity to that, but
Yes.
yeah, that's awesome.
I think and just to keep bringing it back to the casserole, it's such a cool thing to be able to do. Like it's easy. Most casseroles are easy. Would you say? I mean,
More or less,
lasagnas
yeah.
can get a little testy. I'll be honest. I wouldn't try to make a lasagna right now by myself. I'd be asking Jess to help me with it. But some of the your main ones, green bean casserole, hash brown casserole, I would make those by myself. But they're just so easy to do, and they're it's such an easy way to share a meal with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, the casseroles too. You mentioned easy, but we talk about trying to make stuff a little better too. And any casserole, we talk about this all the time. Fresh ingredients, fresh ingredients, fresh ingredients. Use fresh ingredients, and it's gonna be better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That I think is a safe place to test things, to try things.
Yeah.
So like if
Yeah.
you make a casserole and you're like, maybe I want to kick this up a notch. Like it's a safe thing to probably try some different, flavor profiles on that maybe you haven't played with before.
Yeah.
Because it's just kind of like the way that it's cooked together, the way that it's made. It's like the bulk of it's gonna be there just with that new flavor. It's a good testing ground to try.
One, kind of like with the bread episode. We talked about if you want to experiment with your bread, just split it in half.
Yeah.
Make two different smaller loaves.
Yeah.
Just buy 2 smaller glass pans and experiment with one.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But then if you're kind of nervous about that, keep your safety net over here with like the old tried and true recipe, and then branch out with your new
So let's
craziness.
talk a little bit about like casseroles as far as like the dishes themselves. I feel like there's in my head, I'm thinking about a casserole dish. It's always a glass dish. Do you guys feel like it's that way, or is it ceramic, or like what do you guys typically cook in?
We have a ceramic, but typically I think of like a 9x13. I don't know.
9x13.
Yeah, I just
The
use 9x13
classic
pan.
rectangle.
So pan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how you just threw that out. 9x13.
9x13. It's math.
Yeah. I'd say that I think all of ours are glass.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got a couple different sizes, but
Do you think it matters if it's glass or ceramic? Does it cook different? I don't know. I'm asking. I don't
well,
know the
I mean,
Potentially.
that's a great question, because if you got like the difference, because there's a big difference between like a dark sheet pan and a light sheet pan,
Mhm.
is going to have a massive turnout on your cookies.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if because we have a purple casserole glass, and then we also have a clear one. Be interesting to see if they cook differently.
Yeah, just because the color intensify the heat and thus make it cook faster. Or I don't know.
Yeah.
Or
Well, all I know about glass is actually this recipe says if you use glass, it cooks longer. So I think there's
takes
something
longer to cook?
Takes longer to cook.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think there's something about the glass. Probably just takes more time to warm up, or just doesn't
over ceramic.
doesn't transfer that heat. It doesn't give an option. Maybe just as opposed to metal.
Oh,
I
okay.
think it's just slower to heat up.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Definitely compared to metal, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely some differences. And, ceramic, I don't know if that would be a faster cook or a slower cook. I'd assume faster.
Faster, I would think.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
because it heats up quicker and
Yeah.
it's hot.
Yeah.
Well,
I think about your cast iron.
Mhm.
I think that'd be a lot quicker
Yeah.
than glass as well. But
Ooh.
Can you make a cast?
Cast
Can
iron
you do
casserole?
a casserole and a cast iron?
Oh, yeah.
If anyone can do it, buddy, it's you.
I kind of did that, which I don't know if it's a casserole, but that pulled pork mac and cheese in a cast iron.
That's
in the
casserole.
oven.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
That worked
Yeah.
fine in there. So
Nice.
Might have to do one.
Yeah. I know like the dish is like a big part of the definition, but I don't think, to me, the dish doesn't matter.
I think it's more than anything, it's one meal
Yeah.
yeah.
combined.
Mm-hmm. I
Unless
don't know.
unless
but
it's a side.
Unless it's
Yeah.
a side. Unless it's green bean casserole, because that's not a meal.
No, it's not. Sure, it's not a meal, but baked oatmeal
It's a meal.
is a meal.
Don't get me
You're
wrong.
not gonna win
I
this coin.
love baked oatmeal. But it's not a casserole.
I ate so much baked oatmeal when I lived in Africa in a homemade Dutch oven.
A homemade Dutch oven?
Dude,
What?
that's what I should have shared that for this episode. I've got a killer baked oatmeal.
So I've
recipe.
never had baked oatmeal, so I
don't think I have either.
Take oatmeal and throw it in the oven.
I'll bring some because my recipe
It's as
is
simple as that.
I
phenomenal.
mean, it can be.
Is it wet, or do you just throw it in there?
Does
I-
it hold its shape when you cut it?
Yes.
Like, is it like
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
interesting?
It's almost like a It almost looks like bread pudding.
That's definitely a casserole. If it holds its shape when you
Bread
cut it.
pudding.
He just trapped you in an answer. You just been Miyagi'd.
So here's the thing I'll say about that. Traditional baked oatmeal is very, it's cohesive. It's just oatmeal. It does look like bread pudding.
So
Mine does not.
So okay, in my head, oatmeal is dry.
Uh-huh.
So unless you put moisture into it,
Right.
then it congeals.
Yeah.
And make. So I'm assuming, I don't know how to make it. So is it
Probably
oatmeal?
milk.
You said oatmeal, then bake it. So dry oatmeal goes in a thing, and I throw it in the oven, or do I get it wet? Do I
No,
put
like you're going to
eggs?
make you would make like what you would typically make your oatmeal.
Oh, you just bake it instead of
And
put it in the
then-
microwave.
Yeah, essentially. You do it straight into the oven, right?
Yeah, but I don't cook it first.
Right.
Right.
Just straight to
That's
the
what
oven.
happens in the oven.
Yeah.
It's raw.
Yeah. So like mine is it's very chunky compared to like a traditional.
What do you
baked
do?
oat.
What do you do that's different?
So I do a base layer of chopped apples. And then I do the oats mixed with the various things and milk, pour that in as the base. And then I toast pecans and chop them up.
Oh my gosh.
And then
Okay.
top it with
Okay,
toasted
Colton's
pecans.
good.
I
So-
want some of Colton's baked oatmeal.
And this is something you have for
Cole's in charge of
breakfast.
the breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I mean, and it's very, obviously it's very hearty. It's a good meal for people. But you know, like when I was in Africa, there's 27, teenagers that we had to feed, every single day. And 9 times out of 10, we were having baked oatmeal for months at a time. And it's like the little oven that we make. Like you go and you make, mud bricks. You have to make your bricks yourself. And then you have this little sheet metal oven thing that you put inside the bricks, and then you put your fire underneath it, and then you throw your oatmeal in there. That's how you cook meals
That sounds cool.
So
in the bush.
I'll say from Andy, from a health perspective. So traditional baked oatmeal has like a pound of brown sugar in it. I mean, it's ridiculous. The one that I do, because the apples and pecans, you don't need a lot of sweetener. And I think I use maple syrup and not even a lot. So like because of the apple, the flavor from it, mine's not heavy in sugar or anything like that. So like
That sounds good.
there's a
good.
wide
And it's nutritious.
range of spectrum for
You mean you
health.
could put a bunch of butter,
Yeah,
and a bunch of brown sugar,
Yeah.
and a bunch of oats and some cinnamon on top, and have basically a cinnamon roll.
I like to throw like berries and stuff in there, like
Yes.
blueberries,
That's good, too.
blackberries, or
Yeah.
bananas, like a layer of bananas on top. Yeah, like I think the more you can add into it with like natural sweeteners, like fruits and stuff like that, I think it's better instead of using brown sugar.
Nice.
But I'm still gonna throw brown sugar.
Yeah, but then he puts the brown sugar in top.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. Well, yeah, and any other hot tips we can talk about for making your casseroles?
Here's an idea. Here's a question. This might depend on the casserole too. How do you serve it? Is it with a spoon, or is it like do you cut it out and it's like a flat?
I can tell you Colton's answer.
Well,
This is the argument in my household all the time. I eat everything like that with a spoon, and my wife is like, "Give me a fork."
Okay, so
But-
I was
but
asking
how do you serve it?
yeah.
Do you
like
cut it out
But that's
real
another
nice
that's
and
another
neat,
good question. Do you eat
or you
casserole with a
just
spoon? or
grab
fork?
That's a good question.
Am I eating
Spoonful of
it, or am I
you
serving it to someone?
serving to friends.
Oh yeah, then I'll just like cut it out and give it to them.
Square.
I'll eat it right out of the pan.
That's why you're getting yelled at, not because it's a spoon.
It's not because you're eating with the spoon. You're eating it out of the casserole. dish.
Colton's walking around the house with a 9x13 casserole with an oven mitt on.
Just eating it.
Like, what you got to do is you got to put one of those cork
Trivets.
Yeah.
trivets beneath it, and then go stick it on the coffee table.
He's
in front
quite
of the TV.
literally doing this. This is what's
thought about this.
We've stumbled upon why she's actually mad.
Yeah. I would say if it's Jess, she's cutting it. If it's me, I'm spooning it.
Yeah.
I think it depends on the dish.
It does. Yeah. Because I'm thinking about the calico beans, and like you definitely,
Spoon.
it's got to be spoon. Yeah. It's too runny.
Can't cut them.
And then I'm thinking, is that a casserole? No. Probably just,
Well,
I think it's more of a soup.
I would say the only thing that you're really cutting though is if you're doing like a lasagna.
Nah, well,
Right?
beefy mac. My mom's beefy mac is cut.
Okay.
You cut that out or spoon it.
My
I've
egg
literally,
bake.
she's done it
Yeah.
both ways, but I prefer that with the spoon. That's why I asked the
Egg
question.
bake, yeah. You got to like slice it up. And
Well, like sweet potato casserole. You're spooning that out.
Oh yeah. Oh, that might be my favorite casserole.
Nice switching.
So much brown sugar.
And butter and brown sugar.
oh, and
And it's controversial, but some people do the layer whipped marshmallow on top.
Yeah, no.
that's not controversial. Like you need it.
No.
No?
No.
You've
I don't like
stumbled
it.
What?
There we go.
Even
It's
before
controversial.
the dairy thing, like I didn't.
Do marshmallows
But-
have dairy?
But do you?
I don't know what a marshmallow is.
No, I don't know.
Sugar.
Marshmallow is egg.
Just
no.
sugar.
It's essentially
sugar.
meringue.
But do you prefer? Is sweet potato casserole a dessert or is it a side dish?
If it's not Thanksgiving, it's a dessert. But if it's Thanksgiving,
Okay.
it's a
I
side.
think it's a side.
Now I know my answer to this. I prefer it hot. But do you
It's
eat it
gotta be
cold?
hot. No.
You eat it cold? No?
You're a psychopath.
No. Can't have it cold.
Listen,
Colton's looking
Unless-
sheepish over there.
I mean, I love it hot, but I mean, if it's the day after leftovers and I'm hungry, I'll pull a cold casserole out of there.
it's just like have you tried reheating sweet potato casserole?
Not in an air fryer, he hasn't.
No. I just feel like it's super greasy, man. I just rather just
I'm
throw
not
it on
a
my
fan.
plate cold.
I'm not a fan of sweet potatoes to begin with.
Oh.
I'll eat them, but I'm not. It's always like last on my list.
I don't prefer to eat just sweet potatoes, but I do love, like, if I had to pick between French fries and sweet potato fries,
Sweet
I'm
potatoes.
probably gonna go sweet potato fries.
Same.
In that instance, yeah. But
Oh man.
if
No,
there's
I
like
gotta
if
disagree
there's a
there.
if there's a bowl of mashed potatoes and a sweet potato casserole, like I'm always going mashed potatoes, like a russet.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah,
agreed.
just not a big sweet potato casserole fan.
I really think the real core of this is just a vessel for you guys to have your butter.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
the only way I can get my
Probably.
fats in.
is butter. That's the only way.
you could, in theory, throw pretty much anything into a casserole dish, mix it up, and bake it, and
It's a casserole.
yeah.
See, and it's interesting though to go to the health thing with it is I'm finding that the more, because I'm trying to do a little bit of a modified carnivore. I'm a little bit nervous with my stomach to go full blown carnivore, but I've been doing a lot of what's the Kerrygold
Yeah,
butter,
It's the only butter I use.
and it's not bothering me.
Yeah, because there's all the bullshit in it.
Yeah, so like, because I have been using plant-based butter, which I know everyone's like, that's not butter.
It's not butter.
But it's
It's processed.
yeah. So,
chemical
but I've been
process.
using the Kerrygold, and it's not been bothering me.
Mm-hmm. So
That's what it is.
Yeah, 100%.
Process.
Yeah, if for those of you at home that have never used Kerrygold butter,
First of all, it's $9.75 a stick.
no, it's like $8.75 a stick. But the Kerrygold unsalted, while it's
Yes.
not as the salted one is so good, but it's a lot of sodium in it. You can always add salt in yourself, so keep in mind, like when you're cooking with butter, you're almost always also cooking with salt. So that's where it's like you don't really need the salted version because you're just going to get a lot more salt in it. But it is back to I actually like the way I found Kerrygold was actually from Caitlin. So call back to the meal prepping episode. My nutritionist would utilize Kerrygold as opposed to any of the other butters that were out there. Because I can't remember what makes it special. I would have to read up on.
It's
why
big in the carnivore.
It's Irish.
Well, it's Irish, so that's cool. But like, it's
Just more
something with
natural.
how it's actually like how it's created and processed. It's there's just a lot of the other like junk that is left out of it that usually upsets people's
Yeah.
stomach. So I don't know.
Well,
Give
there
them
are
a
some
lip.
huge butter. We could do an episode on butter. That'd be interesting.
Well, we have those other butters from Andrea too that we can try.
Yeah.
We talk about like
'Cause I've-
pure butters and then also flavored butters and whipped butters.
Yeah. Well, I like just cheap butter versus good butter.
Yeah. What is
like when I-
margarine versus butter?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Do you
when
guys
when I do
know-
my smoked Chex Mix, it calls for like a stick of melted butter,
Mm-hmm.
and with good butter, like we melt it and it's just fine. But there are some butters like when we used to shop at Walmart, like you go to melt those in the microwave and it just explodes.
Yes.
Because it's like half air. Like there's a bunch of
not
like,
real.
weird crap in it that just doesn't microwave.
Why is there not some more like smoked Chex Mix on the table?
It's in the pantry. You want some?
I would love
yeah.
some.
Go get some. Yes.
Do you guys know what, on the topic of butter, do you guys know what ghee butter is?
Yes.
Yes.
Also big in the
Ghee.
keto world.
So explain it to me.
Is that
I don't know what it is. I just know of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I wouldn't be able to explain it to you.
Is that like the clarified
You're the one
realm?
with the computer.
I want to just know.
Yeah, so we've used it before, but
I literally
couldn't-
just watched a video on butter,
Okay.
and it's like just plain butter. Oh, it's yeah. There's a guy a new cook I really like. Young guy with glasses.
It's supposedly
I
the
don't know his
best for you, but
Yes.
I don't know why or
know
what it
either.
is. Yeah.
We should brush up on our education before we.
Here, we'll do a.
Yeah.
Or we
We're
should
so- we're
also
so
maybe talk
random.
about casseroles while we're talking about our casserole
Casserole
episode
episode.
instead
Yeah,
of butter.
We'll do this. We'll do the butter episode.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, it is. It is like real quick.
Back
So
to
yeah,
butter.
So this cook, I think I saved it on our Okayest saved page.
I need to log in.
But
there.
there's yeah, so there's like different things you can do to butter. Like when you brown butter, it has to do like when you melt it, like it kind of separates like the fats and the
Right,
and
yeah,
the
that's what it
and
is.
the,
It's the
the
top.
solids and the liquids. And I believe the ghee is when you take the solids out after you've melted
Okay.
it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little bit more healthy just because like all the fats and
yeah.
So
more
probably
of the
tastes
fat.
worse.
Yeah, so more the oils from it instead of that.
yeah.
That
I don't know
makes
if I
sense.
like that.
I'll look it up and I'll send you a video.
Okay.
All right. Quick
Yep.
questions.
Well,
What's your favorite casserole?
I already said it, beefy mac.
Beefy mac.
green bean casserole for me.
Oh gosh, I
Pick
have to
one.
pick one. I mean, just off the top of my head, it's got to be my egg bake, but it's because I'm thinking about it right now.
And not your bean soup.
I don't think that's a casserole.
Hmm.
I can't
that
call
hurt?
that no.
Okay with it?
Initially, I thought it could pass as a casserole, but I don't. The more I think about it, I don't think it does because it's not a full meal. It doesn't like hold up. It doesn't hold its shape when you cut it. But I don't think that's a factor.
Yeah.
That's just a factor in my mind.
It's a factor. It's your new abridged version. Of
Yeah, that's one of my definitions now. But
What's yours, Corey?
I'd say right now mine. Well, I actually technically shouldn't be eating the hash brown casserole either. So I'd have to go with Jess's pasta-less lasagna. Dude, it's so good.
Okay.
It's pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm. I just love pasta, so the idea of taking it out just seems wrong.
yes. Well, on that pasta-less lasagna note, what does she do to the spinach? Like, does she blanch it all
Mhm.
beforehand? Okay.
Mhm.
Because I've got that in my notes here for like some tips on cooking stuff. So, because I know
Let's
when
get to your
when
tips.
I've done lasagna, occasionally I will throw spinach in, but I don't do anything to it. I just throw it in there
Throw it in
raw.
there. Yeah.
So what exactly is the blanching doing for you? You don't know what?
Nope. That's why I said I would
Nope.
not make it by myself.
Over here.
Yes.
What does this say? Now this talks specifically about chard,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if that's like a flavor kind of thing, or if it's like, does it hold
It
its shape better?
it probably just helps it cook through because some of those
Probably,
raw
yeah.
veggies and whatnot, if you just throw them in, they're not going to bake long enough to get
Okay.
cooked. And even with something thin like spinach, if it's sandwiched in there, it's just going to have a different flavor and texture.
Yeah, I think if you're going to char it, you would want that to be like in a middle layer and not at an end, not at a beginning or an end layer, because
Gotcha.
I feel like it's going to get too charred. And
I
then
think he was
just-
talking about Swiss chard,
Yeah.
Oh,
not
okay.
like charred like cooked.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is Swiss chard? For those that don't know.
It's
just
leafy
a-
green.
It's like a more cavemanish lettuce.
So it's a
just-
lettuce. It's not.
It's like
this
really-
is a process we're doing to the lettuce.
It's probably
a
similar to
leafy green.
kale, right?
Yeah. It's
yeah.
they're really
thicker.
really big leaves.
A little bit more
Yeah.
bitter, more dense than lettuce.
Definitely.
Less crispy.
Definitely bitter.
And then when you say blanched, for those that don't know what that is, also me.
It's like a quick boil.
Yeah,
if you got
that's what
boiling
I'm
water, you
imagining.
basically just dip
It's
it
like
Fast.
real fast.
So bring it up to boil, pop them in, pop them out.
More or less, yeah.
Just say like 20, 30 seconds.
If that,
Yeah.
yeah.
The same thing with like your Brussels sprouts.
Okay.
You blanch them and then you throw them in ice water.
So I just soak mine before I cook them, and I usually almost always roast mine. So they're just soaked. They're blanched in the sense that they've sat in water for a good amount of time. That, just so they don't like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if
char
that does the
What-
same
but-
thing.
That's why
I think it's two
different.
different things.
Yeah. So if you blanch them and then you throw them in ice water
Mm-hmm.
for a few seconds and then roast them, game
Okay.
changer.
Well, we'll give it a go.
Then you
can-
throw your bits. Your
'Cause
bits
so
in
that's
there
gonna-
with
that's
some
gonna,
maple
like,
syrup.
Cook it. So when you're blanching, you're cooking it a little bit. So it's going to be a
Yeah.
little bit more tender, I would think.
Yeah.
If you just soak them in water, you're essentially just like rehydrating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the goal of it. Is just so they don't char all to
Yeah.
hell
Yeah.
inside of it when you roast.
And
it.
and the goal of blanching is not to cook them, right?
Yes. Yeah. Correct.
Yeah, because I remember we made peach jam last year, 2 years ago, and we would blanch all the peaches just not to cook them, but just so that the skin
Just
would
to get skin.
tenderize
Yeah.
and then could.
Well, it's like blanching
peeled
your
off.
tomatoes for your.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a method to get that skin off. Yeah. But on smaller things like lettuce, yeah, it's going to do more cooking.
Okay. Got it.
Have you, not to again go off on a side rail?
Is this about
You see-
casseroles?
No, but it's
We're
about
already
like
way
these
off.
like lettuce like washing machines. Have you seen these like little farms that have now like these like wash basins that they have for their lettuce?
We've
It's-
got a little one.
Yeah, the spinner.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Pump it?
but these are like huge ones, like
I haven't seen them.
25-gallon, 35-gallon ones. They're freaking awesome.
Jeez.
That's nice.
And
Washing
then they
lettuce.
wash them, and then they bag it, and they take it to farmers market.
I just pull it from my garden and eat it with the dirt on it. So
It's good for you.
I don't wash too much. But I don't
We do the
fertilize,
same.
so no chemicals on my garden.
While we're on the topic of hot tips, to
For
get us back on
casseroles?
track here, yeah.
Okay.
My wife taught me this one. She does it with her quiche, but it really works for a lot of different casseroles. Like one of the issues you can run into is sometimes with specific things, especially things with egg in them, the middle is sometimes not cooked, but the top is starting to really get crispy and brown. So what you can do is when the top is done, you don't want it to burn anymore, but you still need to cook farther. You can put foil on the top at that point, and then it
Yeah.
will continue to cook, but then you won't keep getting, it won't overcook on the top.
Noted.
Just don't do that if you've already put cheese on top. It's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Or put it in a teepee.
There you go, yeah.
TP it.
Yes. Another hot tip I've got is don't cook your noodles all the way. So go al dente, especially for lasagnas and things like that.
That I think
Yes.
is a trick
like
of
baked
of
spaghettis.
My mom's beefy mac. I'm pretty sure that is that's how she
Yeah.
does it without it getting mushy.
Anything you're twice baking,
Mhm.
like if you're going to cook your noodles and then bake them later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely undercook your nudes.
Dudes.
Well, shoot, any other tips here?
Off
We
the
can just
rails.
wrap it up.
Well, like I said,
We're getting a little goofy, so
yeah.
you can rein it in.
I think the last piece, we've already mentioned it, but casseroles are a good thing to just try things.
Yeah.
Just try it.
Mhm.
If you don't like it, you don't have to make it again.
Do we have any good
Like you
casserole
said.
cookbooks?
Give it to your friend. I do not have one, though.
No, maybe that'll be the next thing we'll try to do. Add to the library.
I mean, there's casseroles in there, but yeah, there's certainly casserole specific.
There's a lot of like meal prep cookbooks out there,
That
and
have
they
them.
have a lot of casseroles.
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
Call to action, listeners, send us casserole recipes.
Yeah.
We're into it.
I would like to hear more dessert casseroles.
I
There you
bet
go.
you would, bud. I bet you would.
Listen, I didn't get to the size by eating.
Whatever. You're like a fraction. You've lost a ton of weight.
I know I have.
That's true, yeah.
Um,
All right. Well, the recipe this week is my egg bake recipe that I got from
whoop whoop.
Stacy Bussis, college buddy's wife. Phenomenal cook. Like she does some awesome dishes. But she lives in Michigan, so Stacy, you gotta come back. Move back to Indianapolis.
We need your casseroles.
Yes, but your egg bake is delicious, and I love it. It's going to start with 4 cups of croutons, and on top of that, you're going to put 2 cups of shredded cheese of your choice, preferably something that's going to melt. American, Colby, Jack, whatever. On top of that, you're going to put, what are you going to put? 8 beaten eggs. I'm trying to do both at once here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh no. Scratch that. Let me start over here. Egg bake recipe. You're gonna do 4 cups of croutons. On top of that, 2 cups of shredded cheese, and then you're gonna mix together 8 beaten eggs in a separate dish with 3.5 cups of milk, a teaspoon of salt. Her recipe says an 1/8 teaspoon of pepper, but it needs a lot more.
Add
than
more
that.
pepper.
It's like a tablespoon of pepper if I'm making it.
Yeah.
I like my pepper.
We got to get that.
And then about 2 cups of meat, or like a pound of browned sausage. Meat
You
of
use
your
Moink
choice.
in yours?
You could use Moink, yeah.
Oh, I
Ooh,
thought
that
you
would
did.
be good.
You did. You had Moink in addition to.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Got it. Sorry.
Yep. You could use Moink, brown sausage, turkey, whatever. Any meat you choose. Choose not to use protein. It's your world.
It's your casserole.
Once you mix all that up, you're going to scrap that. Gosh, I'm all over the place here. Do not put the meat in quite yet. The meat goes on the very top.
Check the
So
show
it's
notes, folks. Check the notes.
Croutons, cheese, all the liquids, and then the salt and pepper, and then the meat goes on top.
Ah.
Throw that in a 325 degree oven for about an hour. But she did make the note, if you're using glass pan, it's an hour 10.
A little longer for the
A little longer for the glass pan. Again, it's one of those casseroles where you can make it the night before.
How do you know when it's done?
Make it, freeze it. An hour goes by.
Okay, I didn't know if you did the toothpick. This is me setting you up for the toothpick.
Yeah, I
test.
mean, test it with a toothpick. It's kind of firm inside. Yeah, it's just
That'd be
it's
good.
super runny. Like when you first make it, like it's really, really liquidy. So like you'll know.
You'll know.
You'll know. When
Have you tried
Toothpick's
it?
a good trick.
Toothpick, yeah. So for those of you who don't know, if you're
Yeah.
ever like curious about a casserole being done, a good way of testing
Especially
is
eggy one.
anything
yeah.
with eggs in it typically, because that's what's sticking, is the binding is the egg. If you take a toothpick and just stick it into the casserole, you should be able to pull it out and it should be clean.
Clean.
If
Yeah.
it's not clean, it's probably not done yet.
Yeah. Or give it the old jiggle test. If it wiggles in the middle, it
If
needs
it
more
wiggles
time.
in the middle, it needs more time.
It works with
Be
like all things
careful
baking.
what you say right now.
God.
Have you tried it with pepper jack?
No.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Get
My
some
wife
spice.
doesn't like the spicy things. and
Mm.
Steph.
It'd be awesome with
Yeah.
pepper jack.
Yeah.
Do you put maple syrup on it?
No. This would not be good with sweet.
Brown
in
sugar?
my opinion. No brown sugar. Get out of here. I would throw in some jalapenos if I was only
Oh,
doing
yeah.
it for me.
Yeah.
I would love to do it with blue cheese, like a blue cheese crumble on top.
Yeah.
I think that would be spectacular.
You just need to do two of these things. Same recipe, but do half and half, and do one.
Should, yeah.
Do a Steph friendly and a Chris
A
friendly.
good version and a Steph version. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. But I need some Colton's stale sourdough leftover.
Yeah.
So I can use like some sourdough croutons.
Oh yeah, that'd
That's
be
a good
good.
idea.
Let's go there.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
Send us
Casseroles,
your
do 'em.
recipes.
Yeah, we were down for the recipes for sure.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Mail us a casserole. Heck, freeze it.
Send
Just
it to us.
Tell me
I
you're
do
gonna
like
mail it.
I do like the
so I check
four
my mail.
casserole dish idea. I think that
Yeah, we should do that.
That's a cool idea.
I'd be over
Yeah.
that. Let's do it. We do it next week.
Making casseroles apparently.